Hello, my friends. Happy Wednesday. It is Shaina here. Today, I want to talk about changing your identity and the way in which you perceive yourself in order to get the results you want. P.S. If you are in recess, there's actually an audio file titled Who Do You Want to Be? Located in your membership site that dives a bit deeper into this concept. You're welcome. So feel free to listen to that later on. Okay, so recently I recommended some content to a client of mine, content from another coach that I thought she could benefit from in between our calls. And so the following week we got back on the phone and I asked her if the content resonated with her. And her response was, well, she's so pretty, so of course she's successful and makes a lot of money. And I called her out on it, of course, because it wasn't the first time that she had chalked up someone else's success to their appearance. And I said to her, she actually struggled with anxiety, depression, and addiction in the past before she is where she is now. So I can assure you that her success is not due to the way she looks. And then we had a little laugh about it. But ever since that conversation, I've noticed more and more people doing this, talking in this manner. For example, you're just an independent person. It's easy for you. You're a go-getter. I've never been that way. You're just a confident person. I'm not. It's this very matter-of-fact way in which we credit someone else's results that we desire, to nature versus nurture. And under the surface, if you dig a little deeper with your shovel, is the belief that people are who they are and I am who I am, and that's just the way it is. Some people are born that way. Some people are just lucky. Some people got it and some people don't. And there's nothing that I can do about it. It's this mentality that not only discredits other people who have actually put in the time, the energy, the focus, the work to evolve and achieve what they want, but more importantly, it immediately discredits ourselves from evolving and achieving new results, right? She's pretty, I'm not, so I can't have that. He's hardworking, I've never been, so it won't ever happen for me. Money just comes easily for that person. They're just a special unicorn. It is a very debilitating mindset when it comes to our own personal development and growth. Because as long as we believe that we are who we are, and that's just the way it is, there is literally no wiggle room for growth. So I encourage you, all of you, to pay attention to your own brain and where this might be showing up in your life. My question to you is, who would you like to become in the world? For example, I'd like to be the person who manages their time successfully and wakes up early in the morning. It would be great to be the person who makes clear, bold decisions and trusts those decisions. I want to be the person who is goal-oriented and makes things happen. Take some time to think about who you want to be. What part of you do you want to build up? And then next, be aware of if and when and where you're discrediting yourself from becoming that person because you believe it's just not who you are. Notice the helpless, hopeless, zero room for growth position you've placed upon yourself. Okay? And then you must shift your thinking to actually believe that you have the power to transform into this next best version of you. You've got to shatter that limiting idea that you can't be or do better. Because if you don't actually believe that you're capable of shattering old identities and forming new ones, then you're really just making the decision to fail ahead of time and stand still and not grow. And then blame it, and when I say it, I mean your lack of results, on nature. It's not in my control. I have no power over it. And listen, you don't have to choose to evolve to a new, better version of yourself. You totally don't have to make that choice. but take responsibility for that choice. Like, I'd much rather be in a room with someone who's like, yeah, Shaina, I know I want to be this and do this, but I'm just being so lazy about it right now. And us have a good laugh about it. I'd be like, yeah, okay, well, when you're ready, give me a call, right? Just taking ownership for that. I'd much rather be around that person versus the person who's arguing that they just can't. They wish they could. It's a nice idea, but not possible, right? Because the truth is, people reinvent themselves every single day. It is literally possible to rewire the neural pathways in your brain to think new thoughts and in turn create new results. It's science. Some people who used to identify as overweight now identify as gym buffs and feel super healthy. Some people who used to identify as dependent in romantic relationships now identify and feel independent. People who used to identify as broke now identify as millionaires. So if you do choose to go forth and grow and evolve into this next version of you, I vote yes. The next step is to shift the way in which you think about yourself. You must adopt the mindset of the person you want to be. And you must shift your mindset first before trying to take any action. Otherwise, your action will fall flat. For example, the smoker. Let's say that I want to quit smoking. I want to become a non-smoker out in the world. If I lead with action, I may go out and buy the patch and some chewing gum and try all the things to quit smoking. And then one day, I run into my friend Sue at the market and she says, "Hey Shaina, I heard you're trying to quit smoking. How's it going?" I respond, "Not great, Sue. You know, I've been smoking for 10 years. It's been a part of me. I've always been a smoker." My path to quit smoking is going to feel like an uphill battle because the way in which I identify myself is not in alignment with my action. And the worst part is that when you don't shift your mindset first, you don't achieve the result you want, which then creates more evidence as to why you are not and will not and cannot ever be the person you want to be. It is a slippery slope, my friends. So if you want to get to that next best level of you, whatever that is for you, you must change your mind about yourself first. It requires two things. One, the melting away of the beliefs that make up your old identity, the one that you no longer want. You got to get rid of those. And then two, the adopting new beliefs that support your new identity. That's it. It requires awareness, intentionality, and consistency. And then one day you wake up and without even realizing it, to be honest, you've become the next best version of yourself. It is truly as simple as that. I did it in my career when I jumped from being a part-time coach to a full-time six-figure coach. I had to start thinking like a six-figure coach first. And that higher level thinking created surges in the way I felt and then drove higher level action that led to higher results. For a long time, I used to identify myself as somebody who always had to work really hard and burn herself out to get what she wanted. And then I realized I didn't want to be that person anymore. I wanted to be the person who just made money super easily and work was really fun and easy. So I had to purposefully and intentionally shift my thinking to match the identity of someone who believed that money came easily and that work didn't have to be so hard. And then the aligned action to prove that true came naturally. Your identity is fluid, you guys. You can become whatever you want to be, whoever you want to be. Do not think for 1 second that it's not. All right, my friends, please give this video a thumbs up right below. Comment if it resonated with you. You want to say what's up or whatever. And I'll see you next week. Bye.